Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review the Book 4 finale and the series finale of The Legend of Korra. It's been a pretty interesting ride. I'll probably give like final thoughts on the series overall at the end of this video, but for the episode itself, kind of hard to do an in-depth summary of everything that happened. But as far as technicals go, animation fantastic, story progression obviously phenomenal. The character development solid for a couple of characters in particular. The animation, if I didn't mention already, was obviously amazing. Pacing, solid. Yeah, I think I did mention animation. But anyways, that's pretty much the technicals. Everything was across the board at least good, if not fucking fantastic and amazing. So yeah, as far as technicals go, the plot of the episodes themselves, whatever you want to say, basically it's like Michael Bay, but not in like a bad way. It's like the cool part of Michael Bay where it's a lot of badass action and over-the-top bullshit happening, but the good kind of bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they're ripping they're ripping building chunks and throwing it at the fucking Colossus. At least that's what the episode called the thing. I still think it's like a fucking Jaeger from Pacific Rim, but you know. They're hucking things at the fucking Colossus, huge chunks of building. Korra finally does some more water bending and like freezes it, and Bolin does the lava on the feet, and they go inside and fuck up the interior of the arm and tear it off and throw it, and it slams into more buildings, and the gun lands in the forest, and all kinds of crazy shit. They tried to do some Empire Strikes Back Walker shit where they tie the thing around the legs, but that ended up not working. It almost worked, but you know. Using a lot of like gusts of air to like blow it back. I thought maybe they would knock it over with that, but it turned out to, you know, not get knocked over, which I think is cool too. It shows that thing's a threat. You know, they even tried putting paint on the fucking, you know, thing so she can't see, but it has like little fucking windshield wipers. It didn't have like windshield wipers. That would have been funny, but it had like these little squirt gun water, so it would get rid of the paint, which makes sense to have that. And what they end up doing, the only way to bring it down is from the inside, which I did mention before, how the arm gets ripped off. But what they end up doing is they have to use the prototypes of the fucking hummingbird things, because the hummingbird like place gets fucking totally destroyed, and it what's it called? Oh, excuse me, my neck itches. Fucking the place gets destroyed, and you're thinking, okay, well, what the fuck? Weren't these gonna mean something? But they had prototypes. What's her name's dad's able to help out, makes it like a plasma cutter or whatever. So that's how they're able to get in. And he dies, obviously, you know, crush. And I think it's a well done death. Pretty cliche, ejecting her out first so that he could stay there, finish the job, and die. But it works. It makes sense. It's cliche, but if it works, it's fine, as long as it's not like a ridiculously cheesy cliche. And I don't think this was a ridiculously cheesy cliche. So, you know, and that's solid character development for her, I guess. It could have been solid character development if the series kept going. Obviously, it won't. We get Mako and Bolin on the inside doing their badass stuff, beating the shit out of a couple of fodders. Mako nearly sacrificing himself. That was cool. His arm getting all fucked up, and the lightning, that was badass. Cool music when that was being done. Korra versus Kuvira was really badass. It wasn't like the greatest fight ever. It wasn't, you know, Fire Lord versus Aang or anything like that, but that was obviously a totally different scale because of the comet and the firebending and everything. And their fight goes all over the place. I mean, they start off just in the head of that thing, but then Mako blows it up from the inside, and they land in the city, and then she tries to run, and they're in the forest, and she finds the gun and starts firing that. And the Korra still saves this bitch's life, and they end up causing this huge fucking explosion that opens up a spirit portal, which was kind of random, but I guess it's okay. They talk there, she gets arrested, and she says she's gonna, you know, pay for her crimes, which, you know, not saying nothing. There's a series that starts with an N, ends with an O, has an A and an R and a U and a T in the middle. That series did not decide to actually punish its fucking traitor character that wanted to change the world through bullshit. His name starting with an S. Not saying any names, you know. He gets off scot-free because friendship, but, you know, Kuvira actually is going to get fucking punished for what she did, which makes a whole lot of sense, and it's not stupid. Because, you know, she has these moments where she's like, stand down, she saved my life, we're done here, you know, all I wanted to do was unite the kingdom. But no fucking, no forgiveness, you're still gonna get punished, and that makes perfect sense. You did a lot of ridiculous bullshit. Let's see, I talk about Prince Wu's bullshit. Prince Wu's bullshit happened. It was cool, though, seeing him actually, like, take care of business with the badger moles. The singing was bad, it wasn't that funny, but him actually, like, doing something and coming through like that was cool. And the very end of the episode, with him saying he's going to reform the whole Earth King, Earth Queen thing, great, like, world, like, that's great, like, I guess you could say world building, even though we're not going to see any of it. It's a good change for the Earth Kingdom, though. And they say they're going to, like, rebuild Republic City and everything. I'm probably a little all over the place in this review. Like I said, I'm not doing a summary, because there's just so much to talk about. What else did we get in this fucking 2-part episode? We got more confirmation of fucking Korra and Asami fucking being, like, lesbian for each other, which I'm totally fine with, and I think that's a really bold move. Obviously, Nickelodeon's not going to let them just flat out say it, but they strongly hint with, you know, oh, that's a nice... What would she say? You have a nice haircut, and Korra blushes, and a couple of other scenes of them talking, and then the ending of this, where they straight up hold hands and then look at each other. I thought they were just going to hold hands and walk in, but it was less subtle than that. They just straight up turn to each other like they're going to kiss. And I'm fine with that. I think Nickelodeon even letting them do that much is kind of fucking surprising. But it works, and it's really cool, and it's like the best romance she's had in the entire series without all that love triangle bullshit. Another a good scene with Mako where he says, I'll follow you no matter what. Excuse me. And there's no blush, you know, because obviously she's got fucking Asami, you know, but there's no blush or anything. They don't try to hint at, like, oh, we'll get back together. It's just a nice, solid friend, like, comrade thing where it's like, I'll follow you into battle no matter what. Bolin delivering the fucking, doing the wedding was awesome. Instead of saying you may kiss the bride, he says you can do the thing, and he just does a great job on that. It's very Bolin and funny, but not full of jokes. You know, it's still respectably done for a wedding and everything. And yeah, it's just really, really cool. It's a good finale. I don't have any problems with it. Very similar to my review for the finale for season 3. Like 1 and 2, definitely problematic finales, but 3 and 4, very, very good. This was a great finale. It had resolution, it had a little bit of character development, all the technicals were on point. It was just really well done. Even a scene where they could have had a really stupid joke to complain about, where Milo's falling, but he uses a big gust of wind from his feet to save everyone. They could have made that a fart that was strong enough to, like, save them. And I'm sure they thought about doing that, but they made it a gust from his feet. They kept it serious, and, like, I'm sure they were tempted to put humor there, and I'm glad they didn't. That would have been something small to complain about. But there's really nothing to complain about. I thought the way Asami's dad died was fine. It didn't look like it was, like, you know, censored or anything. There was nothing like, you know, not Bolin, Varric does an EMP to take out most of the regular mechs. That makes sense. That's what I was thinking going in. I was like, is there going to be like a Phantom Menace type thing where you take down the big one or you take down a certain thing, they're all going to turn off? And he kind of does that with an EMP, but that makes perfect sense, so I had no complaints there either. Cool seeing Mako do, you know, lightning. Cool seeing Mako fight. He really hasn't done much this season as far as fighting, to be totally honest. This season, I say it like it's still going. He didn't do much in this season overall. But it was still cool to see him doing the lightning and almost sacrifice himself, and the arm getting all burned up. And he has it like in a cast when they're at the wedding. Yeah, I mean, the whole episode, not even the whole episode, both episodes. I guess you could say it's like a 2-part, one big episode, but... Oh no, it had the, yeah, because the first one was called Day of the Colossus, and the second one was called The Last Stand, I think. So yeah, it was 2 separate episodes, never mind. Yeah, I kind of thought they'd call this episode maybe Avatar Korra, kind of like how the last episode, I think, of Sozin's Comet was called Avatar Aang. That would have been kind of cool, but whatever. We already had a similar episode title earlier in the season with Korra Alone. And I'm kind of rambling, but it still has to do with the Legend of Korra, so bear with me. Yeah. But I pretty much talked about the entire episode. So overall thoughts on the series, it's not as good as the original Avatar The Last Airbender, there's no denying that. But it's still a great series. It's got likable characters, good comedy, great animation, a good story. It's got its bumps in Season 2, and I think Season 2 is the weakest season overall. but it follows strong with not even just a good final act with the 4th season, but a really good 3rd season as well, and a great 1st season to me. With only 1 season that's a little bit weaker, I still think it's a great series. I think it's definitely something you should check out. Yeah, I mean, I'd say watch, of course, I'd recommend the original Avatar The Last Airbender over this series, but if you have seen the original Avatar The Last Airbender, and you have not seen Korra, why the fuck are you watching my reviews? They spoil everything, but also, go see the series. It's really cool. There's definitely something to be enjoyed about it, and it's definitely, like, the best cartoon that was on TV. They took it off TV. I think they put it back on for these last few episodes. I'm not sure about that. I could be totally fucking fabricating that out of my ass. I'm not entirely. For some reason, I feel like I read that somewhere, but it could have been, you know, something different. But yeah, it was on TV, and when it was on TV, it was like the best cartoon you could watch. Second being Adventure Time, but that's a totally different story. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably give this episode overall, these 2 episodes, I mean, because really there's no point in rating them separately now that I've watched both together and they're so tightly connected. I mean, the cliffhanger from one to the next one is like, it's not even a fucking, like, there's no, like, resolution at the end of that first episode. It's like Korra's face, then boom, there you go. So, it's really just one giant episode split into 2. So the overall rating, I want to go around like a 9.5 to a 10. I'm trying to think, possibly even a fucking 10.5 out of 10 to an 11. It's really, really good at wrapping up certain things with characters and, you know, resolving certain things with the overall story and the animation and the Michael Bay explosions and the action and the devastation of the city. Really, really badass. Fuck it. 11 out of 10. Fuck it. Whatever. Ratings don't even matter to me that much, but I did love these 2 episodes. Fuck it. 11 out of 10. So, yeah. And like I said, overall thoughts on the series, it is great. It's not like, you know, like I said, it's not as good as the original Avatar. And I think if you go in knowing it will be different, you go in knowing it's not as good, you go in knowing that the writers got kind of dicked around by Nickelodeon, I think you'll be able to, like, look past some of the flaws and really see what is, like, a great anime, pretty much, but it's also a cartoon at the same time. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the finale and the overall series of The Legend of Korra. I thought it was great. Check it out if you haven't. Again, you wouldn't be watching this if you hadn't checked it out. You've obviously seen it, but, you know. Yeah, so, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes and the overall series of The Legend of Korra in the comments below. How do you think it stacks up to the original Avatar? I pretty much don't think it stacks up to it subjectively and objectively. I don't think it stacks up to the original at all. In some areas, but mainly the original Avatar is a masterpiece that stands over it. But maybe your thoughts are different. Tell me in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.